is divide your PIDs. Pierre says it a lot at Outback. He always says, he repeats himself a lot. And he goes, divide and conquer, divide and conquer. And I kind of like that. I kind of like that. I don't use it, but I like it. Should you put those, are there some of those PIDs, transmission thingamabobs? Yeah. I'm not a transmission guy, so thingamabob is as technical as I can get on trances. All right? Some of them break things. You know, there's all kinds of PIDs. But I'll bet you the 6 are the, let's go crazy, and let's be honest. Some people use 9 PIDs. We just don't use them all. You should add one more every once in a while. If it doesn't work for you, throw that one out and get a new one. You got 484 on an F-150 truck. I mean, it doesn't get any easier than that. Look at that. Can I hold your attention or what? I didn't mean to wake you, dude. I'm sorry. Freeze frame, I don't know what to do with freeze frame. I know what everybody tells me to do with freeze frame, but I just use it as a drive cycle. That's all I do. I know it's supposed to tell me a lot of things, but I'm not so sure it's technically correct. I haven't been convinced that this is going to help me. And if you use it, that's fine, that's great. I just use it as a drive cycle. I find something, replace it, fix something, do something, adjust something, whatever. I make a repair, and then I say, well, this is when the computer saw the fault under these freeze frame conditions. So if I drive it within 20% of that, I'm driving the freeze frame, and I'm doing what? I'm showing the computer the same thing and see if it'll set the fault. Does that make sense? That's what I use. Anybody got any magic with freeze frame? Yeah, and I'm waiting. You know, somebody's going to, some John Thornton guy or Bernie Thompson guy is going to, oh, if you take this. And I'm going, geez, why didn't I think of that? Because I got a life. They're both my friends. Well, before that statement they were. I mean, here it's in camera, you know. Just don't sell one of these either. Going out express mail. There's a third guy you've probably never seen, and G ought to just get him here to show him to you because, oh God, they're expanding. You know, Keith Kramer. You know, hey Keith, what time is it? Well, you take this clock spring and you put it on a solid base and you start. I'm sorry I asked you. So diagnostic troubles, thank God for diagnostic trouble codes. Which code is it that means you're supposed to replace something? None of them. Thank you, Walter. Wow. One answer, one right answer. You need to stop now. You're done, man. So they mean something has to be further tested. What I would like better access to is the enabling conditions for the codes. I love the enabling conditions for the codes. When I can read a code, I am so screwed up on time and space. I just been traveling forever. So when I say it could have been 5 months ago. I don't even know what the story was now. Probably a lie. But I got a diagnostic trouble code, and it was so ambiguous. I went, what do I do? It was like, oh, something's wrong. You better go find it. And I went, what year is this? Didn't that sound like an OBD1 code? And it was that's what it was. It was communication fault found. And I looked down, and there was 4 different protocols on the car. And I went, a little more, maybe just a hint to give me, at least narrow it down to the right protocol. You know, and it was so strange because I am madly in love with diagnostic trouble codes now. I think they point us in the right direction as long as we don't think they say, you know, they say communication fault detected. It did not say change every module on every protocol as a beginning test. How many people never ever replaced with a known good component? Come on, I do it all the time.
It just gives you an area to work in.
Yeah, but what area in the ambiguous, you know, something's wrong, go find it. Well, you're right. Yeah, you know, wasn't a spare tire bad?
That's right.
Okay, like you're 1 for 2 now. So clearing codes is our favorite. Diagnostic test mode is our favorite. We clear codes to see if they come back. Now in 2010, I don't care if you do that before you send it to my shop. What's your first name?
Chris.
Chris. I don't care if you do that, Chris. Because we used to have 9. Last year we had 9 diagnostic test modes. This year we got 10. And the 10th one is Tattletale, son of a gun.
Yes.
Got you guys. So oxygen sensor monitor 5 and 6. Mode 5 was supposed to be the oxygen sensor monitor, latest test results, but nobody kind of uses it like that. They just throw all that oxygen sensor information in the non-continuous test, mode 6. How many people want to get down and thank the diagnostic gods for mode 6? Thank you, sir. Thank you. There is nothing better than mode 6. There is nothing. I didn't ask you guys, Victor. You don't get to respond, Basil. Stay back there and get money. I swear to goodness, I want to have a class, and I want it to be like 4 hours for like $1,000. Then I'll give it to charity. I mean, I really don't want the $1,000. Well, you know what I mean. Of course I want the $1,000. But then I'm going to say, this is the best diagnostic class I've ever given in my life. Repeat after me. Would you share this one? Repeat after me, Ray. Mode? 6? Then it'd be 3 hours and 59 minutes of this. Then at the very end, I'd go, thank you, don't forget what I taught you.
Mode 4?
Mode 6. Mode 6. Mode 6, mode 5. It has gotten better this is a word that I hang out and I do all the time when I'm hanging out with you. Frickin', there's the best diagnostics available. And that's the number one thing that the manufacturers want to fix, improve, make gooder. Pending diagnostic trouble codes, I have one way I use them. Anybody got any magic there? I don't know. I like it when I first come out. I go, oh, that's really cool, that's cool, that's cool, that's cool. Then I go, how the hell do you use it? I don't know what to do with it. I know what I do with it, and then I'll show you when I get there. Bidirectional controls, there's your ultimate action-reaction test. Yo, computer, down there where I can't see you, about turning on the fields to the alternator for me. All right? Just think about what you don't have to do now, because you're in the front seat. You're reared back. You got a scan tool in one hand. You got your finger ready. If it's cold outside, you got the heater on. If it's hot outside, you got the air conditioner on. You got gangster rap on the radio. Hate your mother, hate your father, kick your puppy dog. Word. That was the one me and my wife danced to at our wedding.
Second wife?
So here, what's the coolest thing to come down the pike in bidirectional since peanut butter is the EVAP service bay test. When don't get real used to it because all cars don't have it. You'll use it on 3 cars and then you have 19 that don't have it. It makes you make up a new word, bite your tongue, no. But it is the coolest thing. So bidirectional is being improved. I wasn't on any research with that, but they're really after that. And mode 9, vehicle ID, I just heard recently that if you look at mode 9 and vehicle ID, and if it can't recognize the vehicle ID, then it may not be what you want to do with bidirectional. Have you heard that? I can't remember when I heard it.
Recently.
It was very recently. And mode 10, that's the new one. I don't know if, here it is in a nutshell. It's got a whole conglomerated engineered description of it. But here's what it is. when you set a diagnostic mode 3 diagnostic trouble code, you set a mode 10 with it, which represents the same thing. If this is a 300, this is a 300. So what happens there, you erase the 300, look at the first word. They should have another word in front of it, almost.
How long is permanent?
Yeah, that's the question, isn't it, Walter? How long is permanent? Permanent is until the monitor that set the code runs and passes. Until the monitor runs and passes. So if Chris goes and clears codes to see if they'll come back, and then he sees the customer coming back and he closes the door and hides behind him. Not Chris, you know, he's extraordinary, but somebody. So what happens here, it gets to your shop, you can pull up, and this is 2010 newer, so don't be looking for it anywhere else. You pull up permanent codes and you can see what he erased. Excellent. I think that's got a big future for us diagnostically. So when we look at these are the ones we were trying to improve, and these are the ones we love. So here, readiness status, sir.
On that mode 10, if a customer tries to disconnect the battery, will it still
That's very good. If the customer tries to erase it, or if you or anybody tries to erase a permanent code without the monitor running and passing, you can't erase it, even if you pull the codes, even if you disconnect the batteries, even if you touch the two cables together, stand on the head, face the car to the east, and none of that will count. That is a great question. That's what I like about the permanation of it. You know, I just made that word up. So here, a scientist, and I did not work with engineers in this research. I've worked with them. This was scientists. This was a scientific research project. All right. I mean, I'm not even in their league. I don't even get a green card in their league. I mean, I'm nowhere near as smart as these guys. But I always went home almost every night and said, I'm nowhere near as dumb as those bastards. It was just it was just as opposite as you could get, you know. Because a guy, one of the scientists, we were looking at the board, and I go, what about this one here? And he goes, all the monitors are complete. You don't have to look at it. Everything's running past. I said, where does it say past? He goes, oh, they're all complete. I go, but where does it say pass? He goes, they're all complete. I go, I'm going to slap you. What are you saying? He says, well, we're done. There's nothing wrong with this car. I go, has this car got a mill on? He goes, yeah. What are you, French?
That was good.
You stick around with me long enough, I poke everybody except the Scottish. Except the Scottish. They're the best people. Guys, did the EVAP pass? Yeah. Did the E pass? What does complete mean? This is not a hard question. The answer, the question has the answer is found in the question. What does complete mean? It completed. It completed. It ran and completed. Doesn't mean it passed or failed. It doesn't mean anything. It means it ran. And here, mode 6 shows I got failures in the EVAP system. And this scientist going, oh, we don't have to work on that one. So we're covered with readiness status. We don't. Anybody got it? Yes, sir.
It actually ran and found the problem.
That's a good way to say it. I probably should have said that, except all those other explicits I said. So this is what I do with a readiness monitor. I go in and see if there's any diagnostic trouble codes. There was on this car. I look at mode 6, see if there's any failures to tell me which one completed and then failed. And this is how I use diagnostic test mode 7 for pending trouble codes. So if I have all my completed monitors, I don't want to confuse any of you, but if the car's in your bay, is everything okay?
No. Yes.
Okay, very.
No, I mean, what the hell's it doing in your bay if everything's okay, right? That makes sense, right? I don't make sense often, but that makes sense. You know, so